Hello everyone and welcome to another video here on the Cycling Dane YouTube channel, and today it's collaboration between the Echelon podcast and the Cycling Dane, as we already did one of these tier lists at the beginning of the Tour de France to kind of guess what was going to happen. Anyways, today I'm joined by Patrick Blake of Outdo Cycling and the Echelon, and obviously Mr. Greg himself, Ewan Wilson, as well. We all know what a tier list is. We don't need to explain it. We're putting the teams. Oh, okay, Ewan, explain the tier list then.
I'm just gonna say because sometimes the parameters get a little bit mixed up once we go through. It is basing their performances on the Tour de France over the past 3 weeks of racing, based on the team quality that they brought, their objectives at the beginning. Did they meet those objectives? Did the riders fulfill their goals and their purpose throughout the Tour de France?
I think I muddied it a bit in that other video. But nevertheless, we might as well start with Total Energies. And I mean, surprisingly, they're quite far up in the prize money. But yeah, what have you thought of their Tour de France this year? 2 second places?
I mean, yeah, Bergerdo has kind of been carrying this team. He's the one who I would definitely remember. To be fair, Pierre Latour did get second place up. We did on. Yeah, Sagan rolling around, I guess, just doing his thing. But the fact that I can remember their results means that they can't go in were they even here. So I'm barring that.
Right.
I'd
Okay.
agree.
Room for improvement?
Any objections?
I
No,
think
I'm cool with that.
Right, moving on to Trek Segafredo. Oh, actually, no. Lidl Trek, winning the Masters jersey with Julia Ciccone, Mess Pedersen taking a stage victory. Matthias Skillmore's Jensen here, there, and everywhere. But what did you think of their performance?
I almost want to take them down one tier because of their awful kit reveal at the beginning of the Tour de France. But they came in wanting to get the polka dots and win a stage. They did that. I don't think it was like an outstanding performance. It was very sort of Lidl Trek is like a Fredo kind of race, which we often say with them. They're a team that do succeed at Grand Tours. High achievements or satisfied? I'll let you guys decide.
I'd
Yeah.
probably go with satisfied. I would put them in high achievers if Skelmoser had a better GC performance.
I mean, in terms of GC, 29th.
I think, considering what Ewan said, that what they set out to do, they achieved it, so therefore they can be satisfied.
Next movie star, obviously the caveat here, the asterisk, is Enric Mas crashing out on stage one. But in terms of the Pro Cycling Stats rankings, they're second to last. And in a lot of the stream pollings we did, they were dead last.
It's hard though, because I definitely did see them, so I can't exactly say where they even here, but their results kind of dictate that that's where they should go.
I would say room for improvement because they were there a lot in the breakaways. Jorgensen rode a really good race. We saw a lot of Guerrero up in the breakaways. They definitely could have done more, but also factor in that Mass crashed, and without that, they didn't really have a direction. Thing is, when L'Equipe did their rankings, they gave them a 1 out of 10.
I would kind of agree.
Do you think? Do you think they should go bottom tier?
I kind of want them to go bottom tier because it's such a fall from them. Like, we keep talking about their objectives. This is a team that's double podium in the Tour de France before, and here we are now with nothing.
Put them in bottom tier.
True, still no stage win, no top 10, no real classification fight in the end.
Yeah,
Guerrero
true.
tried, but he got points deducted.
Yeah, put them down there.
Yeah, I mean, that seems really cruel, but sorry, Enric Mas. Jake Ayula, fourth place with Simon Yates. Simon Yates, best result of his career, but Dylan Groenewegen, 2 second places, not really getting that stage win at least.
High achievers. No, sorry, satisfied. Satisfied. I think if they got a stage win, it'll be high achievers, but they didn't get the stage win. They
Yeah, I
often
agree
leave
with
Grand
that.
Tours with stages. They didn't this time, but a top 5 is brilliant.
Yeah, I concur.
Well, moving on to Team Arkea Samsic. Yeah, for reference, they are third last in the rankings right now in Pro Cycling Stats. Warren Barguil.
Yeah, I mean, come on, that's it.
Luca Mozzato got a top 5.
I mean, yeah,
Wow.
that's true, but could barely even tell you who the rest of our team were, to be honest with you. Like, I'm putting in, were they even here? That's my argument.
I think that's
As
true.
for
They got a couple of combative prizes on stages, but to be honest, elsewhere, if you tuned in the final 20K of every Tour de France stage, I doubt you saw an RKS Samsic jersey.
Next, coming to a team that we've been quite, made a lot of fun of in recent ranking videos, but we absolutely cannot do that here. Cofidis ending their drought of 15 years, taking the stage win with Victor Lafay and obviously with Ion Izagirre. Guys, what do you think here? Guillaume Martin top 10 as well. I think this is high achievers, to be honest.
I reckon it's at least high achievers. If you went from expectation versus reality, you could give an argument for legendary, especially with Martin top 10 GC and 2 stage wins. After such a long drought, you could give an argument for the upper tier, but I'm very happy with putting them in high achievers.
Caveat being that Seb Kuss was the reason why they got top 10.
Well, you got to be there. You got to keep yourself upright.
Yeah, true.
Part of a game.
Oh no. Next coming into Marseille Circus Wanty, and I mean Binyam Gamay and Louis Meintjes, the two, well, arguably the two best African riders. That was kind of their dual goal here, getting a stage win and getting a top 10. Neither happened. Zimmerman coming close with a second place. Obviously, Gamay getting a top 3 as well. But yeah, what have you thought of their Tour de France? High expectations, but not really matched.
This is a team that has been building and building and building, and like the momentum has been there over the past couple of years in the Grand Tours. They keep rising to the occasion, keep sort of breaking new barriers, and it feels like this Tour de France is a huge step back for them. The Giro wasn't great either. I'm worried about the Vuelta a España. This has to go between those two bottom tiers. Georg Zimmerman was the standout here. Binyam Girmay was so underwhelming. Meintjes crashed in the breakaways. We saw maybe a little bit of Rui Costa, but apart from that, they were vapid in this race. It was quite a good roster, and I feel like unlike Arkea and Movistar, who their rosters weren't quite there, they didn't have the momentum coming in, Intermarché had so much momentum, so many eyes on them, and it just felt so flat.
Room for improvement? I think the bottom one's a bit harsh.
It is a bit harsh, but I kind of want to put them in the bottom tier.
They were visible at times.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't like they were completely lost in the pack. I feel like you could see them every now and then. It's just that their results were really underwhelming. This is like, it's very like an old school Israel Premier Tech performance. Literally getting no results. Like, that's what it feels like here. Maybe coming close to a stage. I'm going to say room for improvement because they were on camera a couple times, but I don't think they once set. No, they did. They once set foot on the podium, but that was because Adrien Petit got a combativity prize for finishing last on a stage.
Talking about underwhelming, Soudal Quickstep. Obviously, it seemed like they were saved a bit by Kasper Eskring, almost winning 2 stages, ending up winning 1 in the end, finishing second to another rider on this list, or another team on this list. But yeah, what have you thought of Soudal Quickstep? Obviously, Fabio Jacobs crashing out and not winning a stage.
They fit pretty banging, room for improvement. Sorry, there's just no debate. That's where they go. They got a stage win, which is kind of helped, but it's far below what they were expecting.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, dictionary definition of room for improvement.
Israel Premier Tech, Mike Woods winning a stage up there in the breakaways, not winning as many as last year, but yeah, what do you think?
Satisfied? I think for them, winning a stage is definitely the goal. They had a good Tour de France in the breakaways, came close a couple times. If Chris Nederlands could have got that stage into Issoire, I feel like it would have been a high achievers performance. But it felt like maybe when Woods took that stage win and Nederlands sort of crashed in the mountains in the Alps, they kind of disappeared from the front of the race. But up until that point, they were really strong, satisfied.
Yeah, I was quite impressed, weirdly, by Israel's performance. I think they actually did pretty good.
2 good Tour de France's in a row. Well done, them. Ineos Grenadiers, and I mean, if you guys watched our predictions video over on the Echelon, Ewan famously said that these guys wouldn't top 5.
That was quite funny. That did have me in creases when we heard that. I don't know where to put them though in this ranking. It's a weird one because they got the stage win with Rodriguez in the top 5. Hitchcock was made an improvement this year, but what were they expecting coming into this race is what I'm sort of trying to gauge from. I feel like I'm gonna say satisfied because I am a little bit confused as to where else to put them.
Yeah, based on budget, etc. History.
Yeah.
But did they have a big hitter here? I don't think, I mean, Egan Bernal, but be real here. Carlos Rodriguez, was he expected to finish 4th in this race? Probably not. We probably didn't expect it. Did we think he was going to win one of the hardest mountain stages of the race? Probably not. Certain people predicted Kwiatkowski would win a breakaway stage.
True.
But
2 stage wins.
2 stage wins and a top 5 from a rider who's only 22 years of age. High achievers for me.
Yeah, fair. I can get on board with that.
Next, moving on to Alpes and Koenig. And I mean, 4 stage wins, green jersey. First ever time they've done that. Mathieu van der Poel, yeah, great lead out man, but not really doing anything for his own Palmares. Where would you put these guys?
I kind of want to say legendary.
Yeah, but it
I'm not-
doesn't feel like it though. In
I
a way.
know that's the thing. It doesn't quite feel like it, but then I'm also thinking who is going to end up going up there. But Alpecin, I think they need to be at least high achievers, getting 4 stage wins. And let's face it, it should have been more. The consistency of Philipsen was unrivaled, pretty much on kind of that kind of terrain where it was slightly lumpy or flat. Yeah, Van der Poel lacking, and it was pretty much just a Philipsen show. So I can see what you mean.
I think high achievers. I don't think it quite warrants legendary. They were such a good sprint train, but outside of that, look at their roster. You have Mathieu van der Poel, Quinten Hedemans, Søren Kragh Andersen, even sort of Sylvain Dillier, Michael Gogol. It's a really, really good all-round team. They should have been in the breakaway more in those Helia stages. Quinten Hedemans missing the mark. I really think he could break through and win a Grand Tour stage, but we didn't see any evidence of that here in this Tour de France. Søren Kragh Andersen has won Tour de France stages in the past. Didn't see him in the breakaway really contending for things. So for me, it has to be high achievers. Legendary would have been a sort of Van der Poel exhibition ride in the breakaway, or maybe one of those other guys I mentioned being right there in the fight for a stage win. But high achievers, it has to be.
Or 6 stage wins from Philipsen.
Yeah, I mean, because they missed a couple of finales there towards the end of the race.
Well, now coming to UAE Team Emirates, and I almost don't want to put any discussion because I almost feel like they should just be legendary. 2 riders on the podium, 3 stage wins altogether, white jersey.
Couple days in yellow as well.
Yeah,
it really
exactly.
is a tick list of what you want from a Grand Tour. UAE keep doing this. They keep coming into Grand Tours with a sort of perfect tick sheet, and they've done it again.
Groupama FDJ.
Sad. Ooh.
Room for improvement.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Well, they got 9th place with David Gaudu, 11th place with Thibaut Pinot. That's about it.
I'm sorry, Groupama. I would love to put you higher, but
it's just comparing them to last year, for instance. So
yeah,
they were
4th last year.
Yeah, exactly. And in the prize money, and here they're like nowhere. So
yeah,
room for improvement.
And Madouas top 10 last year as well.
Lotto Destiny.
This is a hard one. I didn't have that much expectation going for them, to be honest with you. I didn't think Caleb was going to win a stage, and he didn't.
But he came close.
I did say that Van Hills was going to win a stage, but he was actually looking pretty good, to be fair.
He was second at Grand Colombier as well, let's not forget.
Campanart's got super combativity.
Yeah, I didn't want to start you 2 off again, but...
3 attacks, but, we'll gloss over that.
Thing is, they've been so underwhelming over the past couple of years.
Yeah, but they're also pro-continental now, so...
That's true, but for a team that's been World Tour for so long, I expect World Tour quality things from them.
Fine. Room for improvement, yes or no?
Yeah, room for improvement.
Yeah.
They did do okay, to be fair.
Now coming to AG2R Citroën, Felix Gal running the show, winning the Henri de Garage Prize, the Col de la Loze stage, top 8, and also second in the mountains classification. Ben O'Connor, 2 top 3 places as well, somewhat saving his Tour de France. High achievers, I guess? Or what do you think?
Parmy says, think satisfied.
Ooh.
Because
they came in with Ben O'Connor. Okay.
Yeah, think back, like O'Connor's been hyped from Dauphiné, his GC performance there, and the fact that he's also won a stage up to teen before a couple of years ago. There is an expectation around AG2R now that they will perform in Grand Tours, and the rest of the team was a little bit meh. Like, apart from like a bit of a meme, Kuznefroy party up like Jouplan, I think it was. I want to say satisfied. I'm not saying that it was a bad performance. I'm just saying that I think they have higher expectations than perhaps people think.
On paper, this is probably AG Desert Citroën's best squad that they could have sent to a Grand Tour. Like, it's like 100% strength of the team, really. But this is a squad that I don't think has like... It's not a super team. And to get the Queen stage, a top 10 in GC, a stint in the polka dot jersey, as well as a couple breakaway top 3s, that could be a high achiever prize.
Yeah, I can understand your argument, actually. What do you think, Scott?
Well, I wanted to put them in high achievers, but then you
what could go high achievers?
Swayed me a bit. But yeah.
Let's go for high achievers.
Go for high achievers. Go with your initial gut instinct. I'm just here playing devil's advocate.
I mean, the comment section's here for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah, next coming to Bora Hansgrohe, coming in with Jad Hindley. Like, YouTube put him down for a podium place. Won a stage, crashed, wore the jersey, and obviously Jordi Moos winning the final stage as well on the Champs-Élysées. So, yeah, 2 stage wins. What do you think of Bora Hansgrohe this year? Bear in mind, the last 2 editions before this, they finished 5th as well with Vlasov and Kelderman. So 7th doesn't look that impressive right now.
But I think it's the high achiever category, to be honest. I think in terms of what you come into a Tour de France for, yes, they would have wanted top 5 and to fight for that podium, but to wear the yellow jersey for a day, to win 2 stages, including the Champs-Élysées stage, it's got to be high achievers, particularly that Jordi Meus wasn't on anybody's radar to win that final stage.
I agree, high achievers, but I will add in that I think we all expected more from Hindley. Like, I think...
Yeah, but then the crash kind of, asterisks as well.
That's true.
Next coming to Bahrain Victorious, obviously they had a very emotional Tour de France as well, running for Gino Mede. 3 stage wins with Wout Poels, with Pil Bilbao and Matej Morhic. Yeah, also a top 10 with Will Bilbao. So yeah, what do you think? I want to say high achievers, or are you thinking
legendary?
Higher? Legendary.
I think it's legendary, personally. I think getting 3 stage wins with 3 different riders, that's pretty good. Like, that doesn't happen very often when you think about it. You know, Jumbo did it last year, Laporte, Wout, and Jonas. Bahrain also doing a very good GC performance with Bilbao, which I think was overachieving. Like, I think that was a good GC performance from him. Yeah, I think maybe more could have been expected from, like, a Landa or something, especially, but... For me, I think that Bahrain were really kind of punching above their weight.
And as well, I think the behavior of the riders, the way they held themselves in post-race interviews and really stood as spokespeople for the squad and for their collective experience over the past couple of weeks, I think that really warrants legendary.
Fair enough. Yeah, Landa, was he even here? But next, I say that as a Landa fan, it's painful. Next, moving on to EF Education Easy Post. Obviously, they lost Carapaz on the first day in a crash, the one with Mas, and then obviously losing James Shaw as well and Esteban Chavez, and not that much to write home about other than really Nielsen Paulus wearing the polka dot jersey for a bit. So what have you thought of EF Education Easy Post, and where should they be?
Room for improvement. They have had Grand Tours without GC leaders and performed stronger.
Yeah, I almost wanted to say, were they even here?
But the thing is, they were in the breakaway a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't think it quite warrants that bottom bracket.
Yeah.
Astana, Kazakhstan.
Here we go. Oh, this was on the bottom list in many of the polls as well. I mean, they came in with aspirational winning with Mark Cavendish, almost won on stage 7, and then he crashes on stage 8. And then Lutsenko, the Echelon Cycling Podcast favorite, not really doing anything either. And he's a former top 10 and a former stage winner. So, yeah.
And also, Case Bowl didn't really come close to the top tiers of the sprints.
It is worthy even here.
It's like Movistar, like one of these big GC teams that are just kind of nowhere now.
Yeah. Oof.
Oh,
it's a bit of an oof.
Next comes DSM.
Yep.
Oh my God. Lowest in the prize fund. The prize fund video over on their Cycling Day and Extra channel. But like lowest there, lowest in the team rankings for Pro Cycling Stats. I mean, guys, Romain Bardet crashing obviously, but Sam Welsford taking the wrong turns and roundabouts. And
where was he on Champs-Élysées?
I don't
outside of top 10 again.
How?
There were so many sprints that should have suited Welsford in this race. Nogara on the racetrack.
You were picking him up. Well, you were being nice to him.
Which is why I'm so let down.
Yeah, exactly.
He beat Fabio Jakobsen at the beginning of the year and Sam Bennett and those kind of guys. And he was like beating Caleb Ewan as well, Caleb Batesa, these kind of guys in the Belgian classics, not the Belgian classics, but like the second tier Belgian classics. And it looked like he was really, really building momentum. Even podium Seldprijs, like the World Championship of Sprinting. Sorry, Champs-Élysées. But DSM Feminich, they came in with like a strong leader in Balde. Maybe he could have got top 10, but to be honest, it wasn't that convincing. They came in with probably maybe one of their top 2 sprinters in Sam Welsford, and he barely top 10'd in this race, maybe once, maybe twice. Niels Eckhoff, I think in Limoges was their best finish.
Oh, yeah, he was.
And I don't think anybody was expecting Nils Eckhoff to be the savior of this team. Kevin van Mark had sort of periods of brilliance in the race, but there was no results to show for it. I think this has to go in the bottom bracket. Not even room for improvement, because this team just fell apart. They had no sort of spice. They had no motivation. It seemed like a team that was just like in a pit of despair, that couldn't get themselves any good results despite having a solid roster. DSM Femine, for me, are the worst team of the Tour de France.
You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah,
Should have brought Max Pool.
Yeah, no, I agree. I knew it was coming. You said this in the ranking, the previous one, so
I'm going to keep saying it.
yeah, we don't even have to do the one where we ask about who's your each one's favorite, least favorite team, but because I think we've got it here. And yeah, but anyway, moving on to Uno X Pro Cycling, the only debutant team of this year's Tour de France. 13 top 10s, which I think is quite impressive. Coming third as well with Tobias Haller Johannesson as well. He got the Tourmalet prize, as we know, despite Guerrero trying to ram him off the road. Where should they be? I kind of want to say satisfied.
Yeah, I can understand that. The number of top 10s that you just said is quite impressive for a team that this is their first
different
tour.
riders as well.
Yeah, lots of different riders. Like, I wasn't expecting a stage win from them, realistically. So I guess my expectations were pretty low, and I did think that Johannesson did do good. A definite kind of really promising. Actually, I wasn't really sure whether he would go for GC or not. I'm happy that he went for breakaways. I think you're right. There was a high level of exposure from Uno X. They were certainly present in the race. Yeah, satisfied seems like a pretty reasonable place to put them.
I'll be intrigued to see what they do next year. If they are invited back to the race, satisfied, I think.
Well, now coming to Jumbo Visma, the team that won the Tour de France by winning just one stage with Jonas Vingegaard. Wout van Aert very angry about not winning anything. Yeah, Sepp Kuss almost top 10.
They also won the team classification as well.
Yeah, true. Forgot about that one. So that's an extra, what, £50,000 or euros into their account. Let's put it in perspective here. They only won one jersey this year. Last year they won the green and the polka dot and the competitivity, more stages as well.
But the thing is, last year's Tour de France for them was perfection. Like, that is the best performance you are going to see, especially at a Tour de France. Like, it's so hard to top that. They only needed one stage. At points, they felt like they were replicating what they were doing last year and it wasn't paying off. But in the end, they won. And that's what they came here for. Team classement as well. It's a nice bonus. Oh, I mean...
Judging by like the Write Your Dreams campaign and everything, they were expecting to win. So like...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say high achievers. As a unit, they rode super impressively. Like the times where they held the break on like a 1 minute leash and just like drilled the day, I was like, Jesus, this is like one of the strongest teams I've ever seen. But for the reason why I'm not putting them in legendary is because in comparison to last year where they were in legendary, this is not as good, because last year they had multiple stage wins with 3 different riders, and this year they had one stage win with their main guy. And for that reason, I can't put them in legendary again.
Yeah, they tried a lot with Wout van Aert as well.
Yeah, exactly. That is a bit of a downfall, to be honest with you. Wout van Aert not winning is a little bit bad, not gonna lie.
They still won the Tour de France.
Wow, I can't believe this. Ewan is the one advocating for Jumbo for once. Yeah, we're the ones being on the other side. What is this? Are we in a parallel universe?
Kind of feels like it.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, it's hard. I think it is still hard to dissect and digest this Tour de France because Pogacar had those huge off days, but then Jumbo Visma were probably going to crack Pogacar on Cotalaz anyway. I'm willing to say high achievers and to compromise with you guys.
Okay, high achievers.
If we put high achievers, there's more comments because people will go irate.
But anyways, that is basically it for this video. Make sure to comment down below what you think of our ranking and check out our ranking over on the Echelon Cycling podcast as well, where we did it before the Tour de France and then see how it levels up to this. But yeah, make sure to check out Patrick's channel on Outdo Cycling. Check out Ewan's Twitter down below. Yeah, that's basically it for us. So thank you for watching and we will see you around.